Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a drawing challenge with a blue pencil and a brown pencil, and I'm only going to be using these two pencils for the drawing. And the brown pencil is a Prismacolor Sienna brown, and as I lay it down on the paper here you'll see it's kind of a mid-dark brown. It's quite a warm brown because Sienna is quite a warm tone. And the blue is a Ultramarine blue from Prismacolor as well. It's kind of quite a bright darkish blue, and these are quite similar to Crayola colours. So the 24 pack of Crayola, this blue is similar to that, and the brown is similar to the brown in there as well. I thought these would be good because if you want to try this yourself and you only have Crayolas, you can replicate the colours quite easily. And when you lay brown and blue on top of each other like I'm doing here, you'll see that it kind of makes almost like a grey tone, and you can get some really kind of deep tones, almost black, if you keep layering up like I'm doing here. And you can also get some lighter grey tones if you don't burnish so quickly. So for example, like I'm doing here, you kind of go lightly for a bit and then just build up light layers, and that will blend out into the paper. So the aim of this challenge is to produce a picture with just using these pencils, kind of mixing some grey tones. And the thing about using blue and brown to mix grey is that you can warm up the grey with the brown or cool down the grey with the blue, and you can get quite a variety of tones with just these two pencils. And I think that this is quite a good drawing exercise, limiting yourself to these two colours and not using any black or white, just using blue and brown. So let's get on with it. So I already had a sketch prepared for this because I wanted to do lots of grey tones. I decided to draw a sea lion. So I drew this sea lion onto a piece of sketchbook paper from one of my kind of mid-range sketchbooks, kind of semi-thick paper I guess, with a bit of a tooth, which is quite good for colour pencils, but it's not too textured and not too rough. It's kind of the Goldilocks of sketchbook paper, you know, totally professional description there for you. And I decided to do a sea lion because they are firstly adorable and because they are grey, so that you can get quite a lot of variation of grey tones, and I thought this would be a really good subject matter for this challenge. So I began by doing the darker areas first, and the darkest area on the seal was the eye, so I coloured that in first, and I tried to layer up as much as possible, especially in the corner of the eye where it's darker, and I tried to kind of blend out the highlight. I didn't use any white on this picture at all. I thought at the beginning I might need to use a bit of white gel pen just in the highlight of the eye, but I didn't. I used the white of the paper as much as I could, and I kind of blended it out. So softer blending out with just the pencils. I didn't use any solvent either. That's mainly because I haven't used solvent on my pencil drawings before, so I didn't want to try it in this, but that's something I think I might try in the future. So you can probably blend these with solvents and then layer on top if you want to, but I used an eraser occasionally to blend out, but I didn't use anything else. So I started with the darker areas because I thought it would be more sensible to go dark to light rather than light to dark, because I didn't want to go too dark too quickly and realised I couldn't get any darker. So I thought this would be best in terms of contrast. So the idea for this challenge originates from my GCSE art days. About 10 years ago when I was starting my GCSE, the first exercise my art teacher got us to do was this exercise. Just gave us a blue and a brown pencil, took away the rest of the colours and got us to draw just with these for a couple of weeks. And I think the unit was washing lines. I think we had to draw the washing that was in front of us and get the really dark deep creases with the blue and the brown and really concentrate on the shadows. And at the time I didn't really understand how important this was, but now looking back I think it really makes sense, because he was trying to get us to work on shadows and building up shadows with just a blue and a brown first and then adding other colours on top, because he really had a thing about not using black to shade. He would take out the black pencils from the pencil packets and hide all the black paint because he didn't think that was a good idea, so he'd get us to use blue and brown instead. And I think that's where my use of blue and brown comes from. I think I was really grounded in doing this exercise, and whenever I use black to shade now I always feel like I'm rebelling and I don't really like it. But if you want me to do a video a bit more in detail about using blue and brown to shade with other hues, let me know in the comments below. I do think this exercise taught me a lot. I actually really appreciate it now, and I think I've come a long way in 10 years, and I really enjoyed revisiting that exercise. And I haven't seen this challenge done before on YouTube. I might be wrong, someone might have done it, but I had a look and I couldn't find any, and I thought this would be good to do. I've seen people use a black and white pencil on tan paper, and that can be quite a good exercise as well. You can get get quite a good variation of contrast with that, and black and white paint as well. I think with paint you couldn't really do blue and brown, especially in acrylic, because you would need the white to mix it out and blend it out. So black and white works better with paint, and I think you could probably do this with watercolours though, because you can blend it out into the paper using more water. But I think pencil is the really good medium for this, and you couldn't do it with markers obviously, because you just get one tone, you can really blend it out. Even with a colourless blender you'd be quite limited. So yeah, let me know if you try this challenge. Like I said before, you can use the blue and the brown from a Crayola packet, that would work just as well. You don't have to use expensive Prismacolors. So you might have noticed that I have gone back to my original room to draw. I am no longer at the wooden table, I'm at my art desk instead, and I've just taken the camera on its stand in there. So it's a similar setup, but there's just no natural light anymore. And I think it works much better, so I'm going to keep it like this for a while and see how I do. So here is the final result. I really like how it turned out, and I do recommend this challenge as a good drawing exercise. And if you're new here, please subscribe for a new art video every Thursday, and if you like this video, emotionally, do leave it a like down below, as that really helps me out. But that's all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next Thursday. Bye for now.